People deluded, I'm back again. Now, Mesut Ozil and Emery, I always say this is the last comments and stuff, but I've got a new take on it, people, yeah? When you deep it, yeah, I don't think it's about money at all, you know. Like, I really don't think. What I mean by that is clearly if Emery deems that he's not, he doesn't want Ozil as part of the long-term vision of his club, well, not his club, but the club he's managing, or if he doesn't feel him, then it would make sense because of the where Ozil is in his career, because of how he divides opinion, and because of his wages. And I'm not saying clearly if Ozil's not playing and he keeps dividing opinions and he's not putting in consistent performances, clearly you need to move him on. He's on 300 or 350k a week. That's big money. But people, we know it's something personal. Don't get me wrong, the money is a factor, the inconsistency is a factor, the whole tactical stuff is a factor between how Emery wants to line up his team. But it's personal, people. There is something that's happened between these lot behind the scenes, whether it's a resistance from Ozil or a reluctance from Emery to do certain things. I don't know. Probably only the players know. In fact, probably only them two individuals. When you deep it, people, obviously, if you're gonna rebuild and stuff, moving Ozil on makes sense. But when you deep it, people, for as much as Ozil divides opinion, and again, it's not wrong if people want to move him on or if he needs to be moved on. I'm not saying that, people. What I'm saying is when you look at it, when you deep it, yeah. Is Ozil the first name you need to get out of this team in regards to moving forward, or the first couple of names in this team? Have we ever? And also, imagine we went this hard to get Mustafi out of the club and stuff in terms, or other players in terms of moving them on, like we're doing now with the propaganda. Again, I'm not saying that Ozil don't need to be moved on, but you look at Ospina, for example. I know there's a push and pull reports in regards to Napoli not wanting to take up their permanent option, but he's on decent money. Mustafi's on, this is all off Google, a couple of Google. Mustafi's on 90k a week. Welbeck will leave. I've put some players in red. Welbeck's destined to leave, so that's 120k off the books. Ramsey, that's 100, Welbs is 125 based on reports online. Ramsey's 120k. Czech will definitely be gone as well. That's 110k. So between Welbs, Ramsey, and Czech, that's how much money saved already. You're getting close to Ozil's weekly wage. Lichtsteiner, whether he stays, we extend his deal by a year, remains to be seen. But if my opinion, he should be off. So that's 75. El Nene's barely featured, and I'm sure he wants to play as much as he loves the club. So that's 50k if El Nene goes. 45 for Carl Jenkinson. Then when you consider possibly when you put the possible futures of Callum Chambers, we're going to need to make a decision on him, to be fair with you. Who else is there? You've obviously, I don't feel we should, I feel if Mustafi wants to leave, we should, not Mustafi, Koscielny, we should allow him to leave because he's been a good serviceman and he has got a year left. But maybe in terms of experience, we could keep him for another year, and he's been a loyal servant, so he could probably stay for a year. But by that same token, he probably shouldn't have been given a year's extension when Giroud and Coquelin signed new deals to 2020. Koscielny is on he must be on 90 to 100k. So these are all free wages that could be freed up essentially. It remains to be seen the futures, what's going to be done with both Callum Chambers and Christian Bielik. Obviously they're not on mad wages, but that frees it up. Charlie Gilmore as well, and a couple others, Vontae Daly-Campbell, Gideon Zalalem, all of these players that are on paper out of contract at the club come the end of the season. This frees up further wages. So don't get me wrong, you're having to do a lot, but surely, people, some of the names I've said historically and over the last couple of seasons, or even this summer, you'd want to move them out more before you move Ozil on. Because again, if you want to move Ozil on, great. And I've given one side of it, but the other side of it, if we want to sell Ozil, that's cool. But the other side of it, you get rid of these players. You've then freed up wages. You've got Ozil, who realistically you knew when they gave him this deal, whether they wanted to or not, they knew it was likely that he was going to run down this deal. He was going to see out these 3 years or however long he signed it, and it was going to be difficult to move him on. Rightly or wrongly, the club knew that, so they must have, for all we criticise Arsenal financially and stuff, they're not stupid. They must have mitigated, and there has to have been a lot of forward planning in regards to the structure of the wages. So again, I'm not defending his wages or the wages he gets, not that it's any of my business, or saying not to move him on. It's just, when you look at it, it clearly, for me, it's nothing to do with wages. When you deep it, it's nothing to do with wages. Clearly, it's a factor, and that it could possibly even be propaganda. And it clearly, obviously, when you're on that sort of money and you're not playing, that's going to be a question that's always thrown in. Again, I really hate talking about a man's living, but when you deep it, people, if you was a manager, think about it, people. If you say cool, then cool. But if you was to get thrown the Arsenal job next summer, and they said you've got to make, well, you already know the changes you've got to make. is Ozil, even if he is Ozil one of the easiest players to get off this wage book? And is he the one that, is he the player that you really, really in your heart want to get first off this wage balance list? For as much as you rate you don't like him, and for the fans that don't like him, I'm pretty sure the most balanced fans would say, no, it's a lie. You'd be looking at Mustafi, you'd be looking at how your wage structure looks when Czech, Ramsey and Welbs, the definite ones, go. You'd be trying to get Mustafi out. And Mustafi's on 90k. I can't even lie to you. What club is going to foot the bill his 90k? So there could be even complications with that. You're looking at, I'd personally be looking to remove some of the squad players before I look at Ozil again. I'm not saying I wouldn't remove Ozil or sell him that summer, but I'm saying there's a lot of work to be done way before I put all of my efforts to finding someone that's willing to take on part of his wages, or tout him like you're seeing, working with middle agents and middlemen trying to find him a club, and all of this energy that's needed. Surely it would be better put getting rid of these sort of men first, and then Ozil or something like that. Again, don't shoot the messenger, people. I'm just looking at it from all sides. Again, I see, you guys know I regularly sit on the fence with stuff, not because I want to, it's because you got to quantify everything really and truly. Like, when you deep it can't be, obviously it's a factor, people. It is a factor. I mean, we free the wages up from Ozil. There's a squad space. There's wages that can be distributed. Of course, it's a factor. But when you deep it, people, I don't think that is the primary reason. Something has changed, because he was playing at the beginning of the season in relatively decent form, and he was fizzled out. Only Unai Emery and Ozil know. People, as you know, I don't really care for this taking sides business. The only side I care about is Arsenal Football Club. If Ozil can help us, then cool. If Unai Emery can bring him in, then cool. If neither want to work with each other, then I'm tired of hearing about this. We'll just move forward with obviously he's the manager. We'll move forward with the players that want to be here. You've seen a lot of reports in regards to the players are backing backing Ozil over the manager as well. Again, I don't want to hear all of this divided stuff, man. Arsenal talk about winning through harmony, and that's what we've made a case of. We need to get back to that, man, because yeah, man, either way, like I said, I just want to see this sorted out between both of them. At least you lot can do what you want to do in the summer between you, but at least for now, I believe Unai Emery has a million things to be dealing with, let alone constantly asking questions about Mesut Ozil. And I'm not saying Mesut Ozil should be in the team week in, week out, but if I'm a manager, if I'm managing that Arsenal squad from now until May with Europa League and Premier League in the balance, and with the injuries and just the sheer number of members in our squad, I would utilise him in some capacity from now till May. Not because I like him or anything. It's just that would be best for Arsenal Football Club. We have more options to select from. We utilise our squad. We have more chances of winning. Most people can understand that. Either way, I'd like to see this nonsense put to bed. But it's nothing to do. When you deep it, people, obviously, again, it's a factor, but it's nothing to do with that. If the club really wanted to free up wages that badly with all the propaganda and all the stuff that's going on, there's so much, man, that could be moved on. Again, there's not much you can do in the middle of the season, but you get the point. For now, anyways, I'm keeping it pushing, people. So, yeah, people, deluded, stay safe, get in the comments, subscribe, and do the rest if you wish. Bang.